Hello everyone, welcome to the SPSS introduction class. So I'm going to do this short video and I'm going to break the videos into smaller sections according to the topic. So for this first video, I will be focusing on introduction to the SPSS software, how to set up data files, and also to conduct descriptive statistics. Okay, so first of all, I would like to share with you what you need to have for this class. So I'm quite sure you already have the SPSS lab book, so we'll be using all this material. Next, you're going to have to also have all the SPSS data file for the lab exercises according to the books, and also the additional lab notes. I have already loaded week 9 and week 10 of your PowerPoint slides, and I'll be uploading the rest in. So let's start. Okay, so I am going to show the first one. We are going to use this slide. So as an introduction, to run the analysis using raw numbers. Okay, as mentioned in previous classes, when you are doing quantitative or translation into numbers to ensure that you are able to analyze the data using software such as SPSS. So the results will indicate something like a yes and no answer, and you can also test hypotheses or things that you predict. So since numbers can only indicate yes or no result, so you as a researcher needs to be able to come up with good hypotheses so that you can see whether or not your hypothesis is accepted or rejected. And analysis in SPSS enables you to test hypotheses. Okay, so I will show to the class. Okay, in this class, what are the types of analysis that can test hypotheses and the type of hypothesis that the test will analyze. Okay, so you can also read this example. Okay, um, how you can conduct the um, quantitative analysis. You can read this yourself. So I'm going straight to the SPSS. So if you can see here, there are three types of SPSS files. One is your data files. This is where you keep all your data. So this is called .sav files. And number two is the syntax file. I myself personally don't use this too much. This is .sps file. This is where when you conduct analysis, you can save the syntax of the analysis. Therefore, you can just use the same syntax to run new analysis by just changing some elements in the syntax. So thirdly, is one of the important ones are the output files. This is when you already conduct your analysis and the output of the analysis will be presented in the output files, which is the .spv file. Okay, so next, you can view your SPSS file in terms of data view and also variable view. So before we move into this topic, I'll show you how you can open your SPSS software. Okay. So go to your start button, depending on your computer. Okay, like mine is already here, or you can search SPSS in your search dialog box here. So since mine is version 23, this video can be used for version 15 and above. Okay, so you can just double click that. Okay, and let's just wait for a while. It is important to be very patient because SPSS is a quite heavy software and it needs some time to open. Okay, now we're here. Here you can just click new data set or you can just click cancel. Okay. And now we can see that this is the data set file, okay, and you can maximize that. Okay, together with my next explanation, I would like for you to open your book, the SPSS book, page 1. Okay, so I will be explaining based on page 1 until page 10. Okay, so we're going to start from here, setting up data files and descriptive statistics. Okay, so I'll move back to the SPSS file. So for this file, you can see that you can have a look at the variable view, which is the data view, which is what we are looking at now. And another one is variable view, which we previously saw. So in variable view, this is where you set up your questions first for your SPSS files. And in the data view is where you key in your data. So for example, in variable view, if you have 20 questions, that means you will have 20 items here for all of your questions. But in data view, all of your questions will be represented in the columns. So you will have 20 columns here, and each respondent's answer will be recorded in each row. So if you have 100 respondents, you will have 100 rows. So this is in the data view. So the next one is, let's have a look at um, an example of a data file so that you can look at what are the data that you can record in SPSS. So please, in your SPSS book, turn to page 2 and read to the instruction of the practice activity. So we are at practice activity, and I would like you to open the 1991 US General Social Survey.sav data. So you can go here, okay, file open, or you can also use your folders, this one, click, and the output box will also open. So you just, so this is your output file, okay, it's still empty because you have not done any analysis yet. And this is now your data that you have just opened. You can also use this file open and find the file, okay, or you can also use this, okay, and search your data. Okay, so now this is the variable view like I've mentioned. So from the variable view we can see that there are 29 questions. Okay, so if you click the data view, okay, so all of the 29 questions are now on the column here, okay, above, okay, the column above, until the final one is problem 4. Okay, so you can have a look at the variable, this one. So data view back, let's scroll until the end and see how many respondents are there. So if you can see here, there are 1,517 respondents. Okay, so now let's try and answer questions on page 2. So look at the question on number 2. Okay, what type of variable is SIPS? Okay, so let's look at variable view now and find SIPS. So SIPS is here. This is the name of the variable. And let's look at the type of the variable. So the type of the variable is here. When you look at the measure, okay, so this is a scale or number. Okay, the type is numeric or number. Okay, and how it is measured, it is using scale. Okay, so for question number 3, okay, what type of measure is the region variable? So region variable, let's have a look. Okay, so this is region. Okay, so region is nominal. Okay, if you can see that, it's nominal. So in the measure, you can click, you can see there's scale, ordinal, and nominal. So let me just reverse a bit and explain to you what nominal, ordinal, and scale is. Okay, so basically there are various types of data, but in SPSS you can record three types of data: scale, ordinal, and nominal. You can also record writings, which is what we call string data. I'll show you later. So scale data is usually when you are using like scale, whereby the numbers does not the numbers represent something else. For example, number one represents strongly disagree, number five represents strongly agree. The numbers does not represent quantity, it represents something else. So that is what we call a scale data. So for an ordinal data, okay, ordinal data is where you can rank the data into lowest to highest. Okay, for example, height, weight, um, how far, location, and so on. Okay, so for nominal data is when the numbers represent a group, and that particular respondent or the particular answer can only represent one group at a time. So a very good example of a nominal data is, for example, gender, okay, and maybe if you want to put in location and so on. So they can choose one, and um, that is a nominal data. So region is nominal data. Okay, we are still in page 2. What is the name applied to the variable that represents occupational category? So in labels, okay, this is usually where researcher, okay, can put the original questions here, because in name you only can put the short form, okay, and you cannot put any space or any special characters. So in the label you can put the full questions here, for to make it easier for you to check the real question. Okay, so let's look at what is representing occupational category. So you can see here, this is occupational category, and this is the name that represents occupational category, OCCCAT80. All right, so let's move to question number 5. What is the possible responses to the variable life? Okay, so let's look at life. So we have here life, and when we want to see the possible answers, let's look at the values and go slightly to the right and just click. Okay, and you can see the value labels. These are the value labels, the things that you can set early on for the respondents to answer, and you can key in the data in your SPSS file. Okay, so the next question would be, what value are treated as missing in the variable obey? So let's look at obey here, okay, and look at values again, slightly right. So this is some of the answers, okay. So we can see here that 8 and 9 are also 0, okay. 0 maybe not appropriate, okay. 8 is don't know, and 9 is not applicable. So all of these values can represent missing values. What type of measure is the age variable? So let's look at age. Okay, so the type of variable is numeric. Okay, and what is the measure? Okay, is age. This person use scale. Okay, it should be it can also be ratio. Sorry, ordinal. Sorry, yeah? So scale or ordinal depends on how you represent the question. If you have groups of answers, let's say the ratio of age 0 to 18, pick 1. Okay, 19 to 25, pick 2. So that will be represented by scale. But if the person put in their actual age, so that will be considered ordinal data. Okay, so now you already know all this information. Okay, so we are going to move on to key in your data. So for the time being, I will stop my recording and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.